Welcome to the Grae Area, where we don't just explore what's right or wrong, but everything we grow through in between. You see, I said grow, not go. Alright. Today's episode is about something real, raw, and often painful. How growing into your truth can cost you people. How setting boundaries can turn closeness into distance. How healing can break the very relationships that once held you. Not because you're unloving, not because you're unforgiving, but because growth changes the terms, and not everyone wants or knows how to meet you there. Let's talk about it. Here's the truth most of us don't say out loud. Outgrowing people feels like grief, but it's not always loud grief. It's quiet, slow, subtle. You're not angry, you're just not connected anymore. The phone calls feel forced, the jokes don't hit the same, the energy just doesn't match your values. And it's not that anyone did something wrong, it's that you're not the same version of yourself anymore. Growth makes people uncomfortable, especially the ones who benefited from your old self. When you start saying no, naming your needs, protecting your peace, calling out disrespect, it disrupts the version of you they were used to. You were the yes person, quote unquote. The one who always made time. The one who let things slide. The one who shrank to keep the peace. But when you heal, you stop shrinking. And suddenly, they're not just losing access, they're losing control. Let's be clear. Setting boundaries is not betrayal. It's not selfish. It's not disloyal. It's not a rejection of love. It's a protection of your peace. But people who benefited from your lack of boundaries, they'll call it changing. They'll say you're difficult now. They'll guilt you with you switched up. And maybe you have. But switching up doesn't mean you switched off. It means you finally turned on the part of you that's been silenced for years. Let's talk about the hard part. When it's family, or childhood friends, or the people you thought would be in your life forever. You've grown. You see patterns. You've done therapy. You've looked inward, but they still operate from gossip, guilt, control, and denial. You love them, but love doesn't mean unlimited access. Love without respect, without mutual growth, becomes draining. Not everyone deserves the updated version of you, especially if they're still talking to the old one. Here's what no one tells you. Healing can be lonely. Not because you're wrong, but because you're different now. There's a weird middle space where you're no longer the person who tolerates everything, but you haven't yet found your new tribe of people who love with clarity, respect, and depth. You'll feel isolated. But don't go back just to feel company. Sometimes loneliness is proof that your standards are finally working. If you're navigating this season, ask yourself, is this relationship based on mutual respect or history and guilt? Do I feel lighter or heavier after interacting with them? Am I setting boundaries or avoiding conflict? Am I being called difficult because I'm growing or because I'm controlling? Do I love them from a place of peace or from a place of fear? Because not every broken bond needs fixing. Some are meant to stay in the past, where you last saw yourself tolerating less than you deserve. You're allowed to outgrow environments. You're allowed to outgrow relationships. You're allowed to become someone your past connections don't recognize. That's not betrayal. That's evolution. Don't shrink your comfort. Don't water yourself down to stay digestible. Don't dim your light so fragile egos feel safe. You can honor what was without keeping it alive. And you can move on without hating your heart. Growth doesn't always mean gaining. Sometimes growth is what you're willing to leave behind. Man, look, thanks for being here in the Grae Area. If this episode spoke to you, if you're in that in-between space where it feels like love is leaving just as you're finding yourself, just hold on. You're not alone. In this part,